Happy Temperament Tuesday. I was going to do a video outside, but it's raining, so I am inside my husband's car. I want to break down some of the differences in the temperaments. So I've talked briefly about the 4 temperaments, but I'm actually going to show you what it means today. So I have this little handout. Okay. So it's all about how we respond to external and internal stimuli. So the first thing you see here is that you have 3 choices. You can either respond quickly or slowly. You can have a strong response or a weak response, and you can have a response that's long-lasting or short-lasting. So each temperament has a different way of responding. So the way the arrows are pointing right now, this is a choleric. So a choleric will have a very strong response. It will be quick, so it'll be immediate, and it'll last a long time. So cholerics, some words to describe cholerics would be goal-oriented, go-getters, driven. They're the ones they're the getter-doners. So they get it done. There's no challenge that they will not try and overcome. They're the doers. Then, if we just change one of these little arrows, then we have a new temperament. So this is the sanguine temperament. So similar to the cholerics, they have a quick response, and it's a strong response, but it's short lasting. So what that means is the sanguines, they might be seen as fickle, optimistic. They're very cheerful. They're very personable, charismatic, but it doesn't last long. So they actually might get really excited about a project and go all in until they don't. So cholerics go all in till the ends. Sanguines go all in till they don't, till they lose interest, right? Or till something else sparks their interest. So, and just a quick side note, there's not a best temperament. You are who you are. The goal is to find out which type of temperament you are, and then to embrace your strengths. Every temperament has strengths, and every temperament has challenges. So to embrace those strengths, to try and really bring them up, and then to realize what your weaknesses are, and to try and do your best to not give in to the temptation that your temperament might be prone to. So that's a sanguine. Okay, next I'm going to change the arrows. I'm going to change every single arrow, because the next temperament is the exact opposite of the sanguine. Suspense is building as I change my arrows. What's happening? Okay, so the next temperament I know a lot about because it's my temperament. Melancholics. So melancholics are slow to respond. We might come up with what we wanted to say to that person who said that one thing to us at 3 in the morning or 3 weeks later. Either way, we have a weak response. Now, to a melancholic, it seems strong, but in reality, it's actually a weak response. However, it lasts a long time. So melancholics might be prone to holding grudges. That's a challenge that we might be tempted towards. But we're also, there are a lot of great qualities too, right? So some ways to describe melancholics are detail-oriented. Other temperaments can also be detail-oriented, but the melancholic is more of the perfectionist type detail-oriented. We're also quite idealistic. We have a list, but it's rare that we actually get through the entire list. The choleric will get through the list. The sanguine will work on the list, but it won't bother the sanguine that they don't get through the list. The melancholic will not get through the list, and it will bother the melancholic that they did not get through the list. The phlegmatic might not have a list. We'll get to phlegmatic next. So melancholic might be moody, might be that idealistic. We're not very realistic with our goals. We are creative. We can be very creative. We're also introverted. The 2 introverted temperaments are melancholic and phlegmatic. Phlegmatics are next. So I'm just changing one arrow for the phlegmatic. And if you remember what our cholerics were, where the arrows were pointing for the cholerics, the phlegmatic is the exact opposite. So the phlegmatics have a slow response, it's a weak response, and it's short lasting. So unlike the melancholics, The phlegmatics don't hold grudges. Things roll off their back, right? They're more easygoing. They are very adaptable. Things don't impress upon them as deeply, as quickly, or as long. So they're the easygoing ones that we all want to have in our life. They're the rock. My husband's phlegmatic, and he's such a rock for me because he helps me let go of things that aren't important. So those are your 4 temperaments. So when I talk about temperaments on Temperament Tuesday, you have a little bit more knowledge of what I'm talking about. Remember, choleric and phlegmatic, they're exact opposites. Sanguine and melancholic, they're exact opposites. Now that you have this foundation, I can't wait to dive much more deeply into the 4 temperaments with you. Stay tuned for another Temperament Tuesday video next Tuesday. Bye-bye, y'all.